So today we are going to discuss the fourth and fifth verse of 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We already have covered till third verse. So today we are going to cover fourth and fifth verse. Here it is. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So the verse goes like this. So this is spoken by Lord Krishna. Buddhi jnanam asammoha shama satyam dama sama sukham dukkham bhava bhava bhayam cha bhayam eva cha ahimsa samata tustis tapodhanam yasho yasho bhavanti bhava bhutanam matta eva prithak vidha buddhirjnanam asammoha क्षमा सत्यम दम समः सुखम दुःखम भवो अभावो भयम च भयम एव च अहिंसा समता तुष्टिस् तपोदानं यशो यशो भवन्ति भवा भूतानं मत्त एवा पृथक् विधा. Now you can chant Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji, are you there?
Yes, sure, Prabhuji, chanting. बुद्धिर्ज्ञानम् असम्मोह क्षमा सत्यं दमा समा सुखं दुःखं भवो भावो भयं चाभयम् एव च अहिंसा समता तुस्तिस् तपोदानं यशो यशा भवन्ति भावभूतानं मत्त एव पृथक् विधा.
Hare Krishna. Now you can go for the translation.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. All these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone.
Okay. Great. So I will read the word for word for this particular verse, and then we'll see for purport. Actually, it's a long purport, so we'll see. First, we'll go for word because there are multiple words and which are very, very important. They signify different qualities. So buddhi, that is intelligence, jnanam, knowledge, asammoha, freedom from doubt, kshama, forgiveness. There are two uh, similar word similar words. One is shama. We'll see another one later on. So shama means forgiveness. Then satyam means truthfulness. Dama means control of the senses. And then another similar word as we spoke earlier, sama. That is control of the mind. One is shama, that is forgiveness, and sama means control of the mind. And as we read, dama is control of the senses. So dama means, like we say, indriya daman. So controlling of the senses is daman, and sama means control of the mind. Mansik santulan, as we say, so santulan comes, the equivalent word is sama, right? The control of the mind. Then sukham, happiness. Dukkham, distress. Bhava, that is birth. Bhava sagar, as we say, in this material world. So bhava is another Word here is like birth. And abhava means death. Bhayam, fear. Cha also abhayam, and that is fearlessness. Then eva also cha and ahimsa, non-violence. Samata, that is equilibrium. Tusti, satisfaction. Tapa, penance. Danam, charity. Yasha, this is fame. Ayasha, infamy. So opposite here. Bhavanti, come about. Bhava, natures. Bhutanam, of living entities. Matta, from me. Eva, certainly. Pritak vidha, variegated arranged. So once again, going for the translation. Here you can see multiple pairs of opposite attributes here. Hmm. So one is intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, nonviolence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. All these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone. So we are not going for reading the purport. We'll uh, discuss as we go through the purport. So it may take more than one day because it's a long purport and there are so many things to discuss. So we'll go slowly, gradually. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधकन्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नित्यनमिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे Hare Krishna. So we'll begin the discussion for verse number 4 and 5 of Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter. So far, just to give the context, so far we have seen in the ninth chapter, in fact, at the end of ninth chapter, Krishna gives the most confidential knowledge, and that is about four instructions. Manmana bhava bhakta majjaji mam namaskar. Now, we talk about manmana. Hmm? Manmana means how to think about Krishna always. Hmm. So, what Krishna is trying to do in the following chapter, in the 10th chapter, is he's trying to talk about his different vibhutis, which can be seen in this material world. And through that, He's trying to attract us towards him more and more. Just like if we know about our friend, we have a friend and we know about the friend. But recently, we came to know about the friend that whatever we know, that friend has much bigger glories. The achievements are much higher. So you will feel definitely proud. You may say, yeah, you know, he's my friend or she's my friend. I've done this thing. So just like that, Krishna is also friend of Arjuna. Now, Krishna is telling different vibhutis in this chapter, 10th chapter, through which Arjuna will be able to appreciate more and more the glories of Krishna. And that way, Krishna will become more and more dearer to Arjuna. And that way, he will be able to remember Krishna with much easier way. Now, as he said, Krishna is also giving this disclaimer that he is the source of everything. And therefore, even the demigods and sages, they also don't understand Krishna fully. As we discussed, demigods, one may say, they are too much into enjoyment. But Krishna is saying even the sages also don't have a full understanding of Krishna. So Krishna is the source of everything, and everyone came after Krishna. Nobody has the full idea of Krishna. And one can know about Krishna only to that extent, to what extent Krishna reveals himself to that person. After that, in this set of two verses, in the fourth and fifth verse, Krishna is talking about multiple pairs of opposite qualities. And some qualities are mode of goodness qualities. And he's saying all those things are coming from him. He's giving more emphasis on that. So everybody is coming from him. Demigods, sages, everybody is coming from him. Even these qualities with which we may appreciate somebody, or we may find somebody is decorated with these qualities, and we may appreciate that person. But we should know where from these qualities are coming. They all are sourced from Krishna. So, moving on in the purport, Prabhupada says the different qualities of living entities, be they good or bad, are all created by Krishna, and they are described here. So, as we have seen, good qualities are there. We understand, oh, good qualities, they are coming from Krishna. What about the bad qualities? Like we are having intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt, that's fine. But delusion, how come? Then we have forgiveness, which is nice, truthfulness, control of senses, control of mind, happiness. What about distress? Oh, birth is coming from Krishna, death is also, fear is coming also, which is kind of negative. When fearlessness is also coming from him, then non-violence, which is a good mode of goodness quality, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, all are mode of goodness qualities, charity, fame, and then again infamy. So how is it? The point is, it is not like all the good qualities are coming from Krishna and somebody is manufacturing the bad qualities in between. All these are coming from Krishna. Everything is coming from Krishna. So basically, as per the scripture, all the good qualities are coming from the front side of Krishna. And all these negative qualities are coming from the back side of Krishna. Like that. Or the universal form. From there is coming. Now, excuse me. Intelligence refers to the power to analyze things in their proper perspective. And knowledge refers to understanding what is spirit and what is matter. So when we talk about intelligence, that helps us to understand things in the right perspective. We can right size the problem with application of proper intelligence. For example, we have a lot of anxieties in life, but we have intelligence. Now, if the intelligence is material intelligence, that will help us to some extent. For example, based on the previous experience, one elderly person may advise one young person saying that you are so anxious. Why are you so anxious? Based on the wisdom I gained from my life, I understand that if you have 25 anxieties, that something bad may happen, something wrong may happen. I'm talking this from a person who has that wisdom, but that is material wisdom. That person said, out of those 25 things which you are anxious of, one thing really may get materialized, and rest of the 24 things may not happen. But you are taking anxiety for all the 25 things. So that way, we should know how to right size the problem. We should know that there is no point of taking anxiety unnecessary. So this kind of right sizing of the issue or looking at the thing with proper perspective comes from intelligence. What is in our control, what is not in our control, what we should bother to control, all those things, if we know, that helps us to relax, get rid of anxiety. So this is coming from intelligence. Intelligence also helps us to discriminate what is right and what is wrong based on the knowledge of scripture. Another higher level of intelligence is that it can help us to simultaneously accommodate uh, two ideas which are apparently in conflict with each other. That comes with intelligence. For example, in devotional service, if we have to progress, we should not associate with non-devotees. And another person may say, um, to do outreach program, to preach people or to distribute books, we should go to the non-devotees. Uh, that way they will be benefited. Devotees already know about it. They may not take books here, but devotees also at times take. No. But mostly we target the people who are yet to come to devotional service to distribute books or to do outreach program. So here we are meeting with people, meeting with non-devotees. So one may say to progress in devotional service, you should not associate with non-devotees. At the same time, we are saying interact with the non-devotees. How is it? Now, one should know with the proper perspective that we should not isolate ourselves, we should insulate. So, how is it? It is that we should give association as a devotee or Vaishnava, but we should not take association from those who are in not right consciousness. So, all this come from intelligence. Sometimes we process thoughts and we get intelligence. Sometimes we get from guru, sometimes we get from sadhu, sometimes from shastra, sometimes combination of all this are there. We have our life experience also. So that way intelligence gets developed. And it's very important to develop scriptural knowledge that helps us to develop spiritual intelligence. Because material intelligence is not enough. In this life, if somebody dies and we need to console the near and dear persons of the dead person with the help of material intelligence, it is much more difficult. It's much more difficult. But with spiritual intelligence, if we try to explain things, bring things in proper perspective, it is much easier because we have the holistic picture. In case of material explanation, we may not bring soul into picture, and that soul is the real self. So we need to develop our spiritual intelligence. That way, we will be able to see things, uh, the reality distinguished from illusion. That we can achieve if we properly develop our spiritual intelligence. Now, uh, next point is knowledge refers to understanding what is spirit and what is matter. Excuse me. So, in this world, we see there are so many different subject matters, so many curriculums. And apart from that, also, people have some traditional knowledge, some knowledge based on one's wisdom. So there are different knowledge. But the point is, what is the goal of getting knowledge? For example, when somebody is joining any job, what is the goal of joining the job? Mostly people would understand that at the end of the month, they will get salary. So there is a purpose. There is a benefit. That's why they are doing the job. Otherwise, they won't. So similarly, when you gain knowledge, we should know what's the purpose. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, when you talk about Vedas, what's the purpose of knowing Vedas? Vedasya sarva ahameva vidya. The purpose of knowing Veda is to know Krishna. So similarly, when we talk about the knowledge which we gain in this material world, how they're beneficial. Mostly we gain the knowledge in this material world are beneficial in terms of earning money or have some social respect, something like that. All of them hover in the material platform. Now, Krishna talks about items of knowledge. In the 13th chapter, 8 till 12th verse. Excuse me. So, there, Krishna, there are many items, 20 items like Acharya Upasana, Ananda Bhakti to Krishna, all those. Janma Mrityu Jara Vidhi Dukkha Doshan Darshanam. So, uh, humility, non-violence, there are many uh, qualities mentioned out there. So, these things, Krishna says, these are items of knowledge. And outside of this, anything else is ignorance. Why? Because one of the important aspects of having knowledge is to be able to distinguish matter from the spirit. Without that, we won't be able to get real knowledge. And this is done very much at the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Now, when we have two sets, in one set we have matter and another set spirit. There are some knowledgeable persons who already have done the analysis, the difference between these two categories. And they have come up with this conclusion that Nasata Vidyate bhavo na abhavo vidyate sata. Uvoyarapi drashya means seeing these two, what is matter and what is spirit. So these learned people, they have seen both, and they have said this matter is always perishable, and for spirit there is no destruction. So that is the Tattvadarshi. And as the Tattvadarshi, they have given this understanding. Vasata vidyate bhava na bhava vidyate sata. Uvarakti dashta and as Tattvadarshi. So the Tattvadarshis, they have given this understanding. So in our life, we should be always in a position to discriminate properly matter from the spirit. For example, if we are trying to do something, whether I am driven by material consciousness or I am driven by spiritual consciousness. Material consciousness means I want to have glory, I want to get name, fame, accolades, followers, all those things. Social influence, like that. Spiritual perspective is that I want to please Krishna. I want to do everything for the pleasure of Krishna. So when we transfer our knowledge to please Krishna, act in such a way so that Krishna is pleased, then that is the real purpose of knowledge, to please Krishna. Therefore, the items of knowledge should be aligned with that. If I become very expert in any mundane scientific understanding, excuse me, that may land me in such a place that instead of accepting the existence of God, I may go on the other side. I may say God just doesn't exist. So that is very, very important. We need to have knowledge from the right source. For the scientists, as Bhagavad Gita says, Mayaya apahrita jnana. Their knowledge is covered by illusion. Maya apahrita jnana. So, knowledgeable person means one should be able to know distinctly what is matter and what is spirit. One will clearly know, okay, I have this body, I am not this body, and I'm, or this body is perishable, I am imperishable. So, this soul will go out of this body one day. But till that time, with the help of this body, what are the activities I should perform? That should be known to me. That way I can move forward. So therefore, that is called knowledge. With that knowledge, I can really benefit myself. And not only that, I can benefit others also by sharing the wisdom. So knowledge means knowing the distinction between spirit and matter. In modern education, there is no knowledge about spirit. They are simply taking care of the material elements and bodily needs. Therefore, academic knowledge is not complete. Prabhupada was in MIT, and all the people around him, they were showing him, Prabhupada, see, this is such and such department, this is physics department, this is chemistry department, like the different departments were shown to him. And Prabhupada said, he asked this question, do you have any department for spiritual studies, studying spirit? They said, no. So Prabhupada said, this is the most important thing. Just like we are human beings. Hmm? Human being has certain needs, but ultimate need is to understand who we are and how we can be situated in our original constitutional position. And whatever knowledge helps us to attain that, that is real knowledge. Otherwise, rest are missiles, useless. Whatever we have learned languages and all. We are utilizing for the service of Krishna. So that is good. All these things are utilized for the service of Krishna. So the purpose of knowledge is to please Krishna, to engage that in the service of Krishna. So they are simply taking care of material elements and bodily needs. Therefore, academic knowledge is not complete. So the animals are eating, sleeping, mating, and depending. Those four things, ahar, nidra, bhaya, matinda, the animals are also doing, and we are also doing. Maybe in your case, we are doing it in a more sophisticated way, but the same four things. What makes the difference? Ahar, nidra, bhaya, matinam. Samana, eta, pashuvi, narana. The pashu and nara, human being, both are engaged in ahar, nidra, bhaya, matinam. Dharma, etan, means dharma is the only differentiating factor. Dharmana hina uh, pashuvi. Uh, I mean, all the nara or the human being are animals without dharma or without the religious life. So this dharma is the actual differentiating factor. Otherwise, eating, sleeping, mating, depending, everybody else are doing. So therefore, we should know we are spirit and we should take care of this spirit soul. We should act for the benefit of this spirit soul. In normal case, what happens? We take care of the outer shell or caging, not the real self. One example is given. Let's say there is a bird in a cage. Now, instead of giving food to the bird on regular basis, if we keep on shining the cage from outside, what will happen to the bird? So that's what happens with mundane knowledge. It nourishes the cage or the outer covering, the body. All the cosmetics we use to decorate the body, all the dresses we wear to decorate the body. We go to gym and all. We exercise to strengthen the body. We associate with people, to take some appreciation on the body. People say, oh, you are looking very beautiful or you are looking very handsome or whatever. So all these things are in the bodily platform. So we are shining the cage. The soul inside is dark. And our real identity is that soul. But without spiritual knowledge, as we accumulate more and more mundane knowledge, we suffocate ourselves. Our spiritual progress is hindered. So that is not good for us in the long run. So we should develop spiritual consciousness. And therefore, gaining academic knowledge, which is mostly ascending knowledge, is not enough. We need to have that descending knowledge to know things. And then on top of that, we need to engage in the spiritual practice for our purification. That we can eventually make our life successful. Then comes the term asammoha, that is freedom from doubt and delusion. And that can be achieved when one is not hesitant and when he understands the transcendental position, sorry, transcendental philosophy. Slowly but surely he becomes free from bewilderment. So we have seen in case of Arjuna, hmm, he was very much bewildered. He didn't have any dearth of knowledge on the material platform. He was in mode of goodness. And he didn't want to fight because he was feeling very compassionate for his relatives, friends. He didn't want to kill them. Sinful reaction will come. All those knowledge which are on the material platform, bodily platform, he had the complete knowledge, but he found that is not good enough to solve his problem, and that problem can be solved in the spiritual platform. So until this we go to the spiritual platform, we cannot solve those basic problems, which at times becomes overwhelming. When Arjuna took shelter of Krishna, Krishna started. He says, um, uh, Arjuna says that I am under delusion. I don't know what to do. Please guide me. Shishastyaham sadimam tam prapannam. Karpanna dosa upahata sabhava. पृच्छामि तं धर्म सम्मूढचेता ये श्रेयश्चन्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं साधिमं तं प्रपन्नम्. So I am soul surrendered to you. I am coming to you as disciple. Please instruct me because I am totally under illusion and I don't know what is good for me, what is bad for me. So tell me what is Shreya, which is beneficial for me in the long term. I'm just acting like a miserly person. So that's what happens when we don't have spiritual knowledge. We may have high grade mode of goodness knowledge that always speak the truth, be clean, neat and clean, do good to others, give charity to others. All these are mode of goodness qualities. And these are definitely nice qualities. Many people, they don't have it even. But the point is, even if you develop those mode of goodness qualities and this stand alone means there is no touch of spirituality in that. Krishna is not in the picture. They also can cause a lot of disturbance within us. That's what exactly happened in case of Arjuna when he was still hovering on the material platform. But when he heard the entire Bhagavad Gita from Krishna, what happened? Nasta moha smritirlabdha. His illusion was gone and he got back his memory. Tat prasadanam maya achyuta means by the mercy of Krishna, this he achieved. The Guru's blessings were needed to relieve him from this ignorance. And then what he said, Karishya Bachanam Tava. Whatever you say, I'll do. My all illusion, doubts, everything is gone. How? By hearing Bhagavad Gita. He was brilliant. He was getting the direct mercy of Krishna. So just one time he heard and all doubts, delusions are gone. In our case, we need to study Bhagavad Gita repeatedly, keep on applying. In due course of time, all those delusions will go away. So one comes to asammoha stage, the spiritual practice. And that asammoha comes from Krishna. So nothing should be accepted blindly. Everything should be accepted with care and with caution. So blind acceptance of anything was not even appreciated by Prabhupada, as he is mentioned in the purport. We should ask the right question, pertinent question, clarify the doubts, and then accept the final conclusion. We should not be blindly accepting anything and everything anybody is saying. We should have proper reference, proper proof from proper scripture. So Krishna is giving this knowledge to Arjuna. He's getting this knowledge, he's coming out of delusion. And this is for us also. By getting this knowledge, we can also come out of illusion. Next term is Shama or tolerance and forgiveness. And that should be practiced. So one should be tolerant to excuse the minor offenses of others. Now one may say, what is minor offense and what is major offense? Minor offense is like if somebody is offending us. What is minor offense and what is major offense? Minor offense is when the offense is directed towards us. Somebody said something bad to me and all this. That is considered minor offense. And what is major offense? Major offense means when the criticism or any harm is directed towards another devotee. That is called major offense. So we should be tolerant towards the minor offenses. Somebody saying something or so, we need to raise our bar of tolerance. Everybody has a limit to what extent one can tolerate. So we need to raise the bar with the help of devotional service. That way you'll be able to tolerate more and more. Because right in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, the 14th verse of second chapter, Krishna says, Matra sparsastu konteya sitoshna sukha dukkhara agamaya anittas tam pratiksha bharat. So the heat and cold and the summer season and winter season, they keep on coming and going. One should be able to tolerate. So tolerance is very, very important. So another point is forgiveness. We should forgive others. That helps us to become more and more tolerant. We should forgive ourselves also. Otherwise, some of the mistakes we might have done, we won't be able to tolerate that because we haven't forgiven ourselves. So we should forgive ourselves and we should forgive others and we should give benefit of doubt to others. That way we can be more and more tolerant. And also we should not try to find fault with others unnecessarily. That is very important. So that way we should practice tolerance and eventually the bar will increase. So we can be more and more tolerant in due course of time. So we should excuse the minor offenses of others. Then satyam or truthfulness means that facts should be presented as they are, not the benefit of others. So many people, especially in this age of Kali, they struggle to say the truth. They will hide it or say something in a round and round way, not the right. Sometimes, mostly they hide the information or they will give incorrect information. They will see their gain, other gains, which they can achieve. Uh, so this truthfulness is a kind of rare commodity in this world. But there are some people who would say, I can say the truth on the face of somebody. I don't hide anything. I'm a straightforward person. I can say something on the face. That is also not too much desirable because uh, that can spoil the relationship. There are cases when we need to say the truth on the face. If somebody is a thief, then if the thief is thief, then we need to tell everybody so that they are prepared. They, take proper precaution now. So this is like spade is spade. We are saying what is right, but we should not, um, you know, criticize or blaspheme. That's the point. Um, so the austerity of speech, as mentioned in the 15th verse of 17th chapter, it is said that truth should be spoken in a palatable way for the benefit of others. Many times people, they don't care to talk, uh, say the truth. Hmm? And even they speak the truth, they may not talk in a palatable way. It may be very harsh to hear. And they may say, I I speak the truth on the face. And there are many people, they don't like it. Sorry, I cannot help. I had to say whatever is truth. But the point is, when we are presenting the truth, it should be presented in a palatable way. That is our responsibility. And it should be not only palatable, it should be beneficial to others. There are truths which doesn't help much, even if we repeat multiple times, like sun rises in the east. Hmm? How is it benefiting anybody if we say this 10 times? So truth should, because the person already will know. So in some cases, people may hide the truth or, uh, you know, change the information because they cannot share the information as that is not true. It should be spoken as it is. It should not be altered. So Satyam, truthfulness means that facts should be presented as they are for the benefit of others. Others should get benefited from their fact. If there is no benefit, there is what is the use of saying? There are so many truths in this world. But if it is not benefiting the person we are speaking to, then what's the use? Facts should not be mispresented. We should not alter the facts just so that it will look good. According to social conventions, it is said that one can speak the truth only when it is palatable to others. So it should be palatable to others. But that is not truthfulness. The truth should be spoken in a straightforward way so that others will understand actually what the facts are. If a man is a thief, and if people are warned that he's thief, that is truth. This is called spade a spade. Although sometimes the truth is unpalatable. So in this case, even the uh, facts are unpalatable, still it should be spoken. So people should be aware of that. So that is nothing wrong. So that's the need of truthfulness, that the facts should be presented as they are for the benefit of others. So this is very important to speak the truth. Um, Next, control of the senses means the senses should not be used for unnecessary personal enjoyment. The senses should be controlled. Just one of the sense. Let's say we have five senses and four senses are controlled very strictly. And one of the sense we let loose. And then what will happen? The mind will contemplate on that. Mind will have meditation on that. And that one sense which is, which you let loose will take away like a ship is taken by a storm in a different direction or waves in a different direction. That way, our whole, our entire consciousness will drift away from the desired path, will be distracted. So controlling all our senses together is very important. So if the senses are engaged in personal sense enjoyment, then they will definitely get more and more distracted. So we have option of eating prasadam. Instead of eating prasadam, we are eating different things which are not offerable. And everything we are eating for sense enjoyment. Then the senses will get controlled. There is no prohibition against meeting the proper needs of the senses. There are some basic needs of the senses. One can fulfill those needs. We are not talking about wants, it's a needs, basic needs. But unnecessary sense enjoyment is detrimental for spiritual advancement. So if you are a yogi, you are not a bhogi. But if you are a bhogi, then you cannot become a yogi. That is the case. If you are too much into enjoyment, which actually loosens the senses. And in case of yogi, the senses are very much into control. They are under control. So they are two opposite directions. So if we don't control our senses, then we cannot become yogi. Because the mind will wander. Whatever sense object we are meditating on, mind will go there. And once the sense enjoyment is over, then mind will keep on pondering on that. It will create repeated distraction. And then we won't be able to focus on spiritual subject matters. So that is the case. You can observe that if you are doing too much sense gratification somewhere, then somehow it becomes very difficult when too much into sense gratification, putting a pause button, pressing a pause button is very difficult. But somehow or the other, somebody is putting a pause button on that for some time, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. After that, we'll see the senses are coming under control if we don't indulge further. And then when we'll compare that situation with the situation which we are facing 1 month back, we'll see the difference. We'll see our mind is calm and cool, and very easily we can meditate on spiritual subject matters. And 1 month back, it was totally agitated. It was coming in and out, was going on. We are not able to focus on uh, our Krishna conscious mindset or our lifestyle or so. We are not able to meditate on Krishna. We are not able to engage properly. We cannot keep our mind fixed on Krishna for too long. So all those things will happen if we don't control our mind. So unnecessary sense enjoyment should be avoided. So therefore, the senses should be restrained from unnecessary use. We should not unnecessarily indulge our senses. Similarly, one should restrain the mind from unnecessary thoughts. So sometimes mind is going wide on different thought process, and we detect that. We should not let the mind continue. We should try to stop it because mind has better engagement. We should know that. Instead of knowing that, or despite knowing that, if we become negligent, we let the mind uh, go for a ride always. Then it will be detrimental for us. So unnecessary thoughts should be checked in the mind. But that is called sama. We're controlling the mind. So one should not spend one's time pondering over earning money. So a lot of people they think I'm gonna invest money in this stock or that stock, earn money this way, that way. The whole day is going on in this thought process, how to earn more money, how to invest in different areas, all this money, 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 money. Money is honey. That's the thought uh, one is cultivating. But it is creating constant distraction from spiritual endeavors. So this is a misuse of thinking power. We have a thinking power, but we are misusing that thinking power just thinking on material subject matters, thinking how to make more money, which is perishable. Excessive money is never going to be useful for us, and we are not going to carry that to the next life. So if we keep on pondering on that, then that's a misuse of our thought process. The mind should be used to understand the prime necessity of human beings. What is our prime necessity? And that should be presented authoritatively. Our mind should be utilized for spiritual cultivation. And we should do that under the guidance of a bona fide authority. And when we are presenting this to others, that also we should give the proper quotation, where from we are quoting that, so that that authority is maintained. The power of thought should be developed in association with persons who are authorities in the scriptures, saintly person and spiritual master, those uh, whose thinking is highly developed. So, based on our association, our mindset will be developed. So, if we associate with highly elevated, spiritually highly elevated personalities, then our mindset, our consciousness develop, will be developed accordingly. So, association is very important. As it is said, it is called A, B, C, D. A means association, B means books. Books are the basis. C is chanting, and D is for diet. So that we need to gradually progress. First thing is association. We need to get the right kind of association. The power of thought should be developed in association with person who are authorities in scriptures, saintly person and spiritual masters, and whose thinking is highly developed. So when we mix with them, our thought process also becomes developed. Then another term comes sukham. Sukham means pleasure or happiness. Should always be in that which is favorable for cultivation of spiritual knowledge of Krishna consciousness. So that is Sukham, means what is helping us to develop Krishna consciousness. So that is Sukham. And similarly, that which is painful or which causes distress is that which is unfavorable for the cultivation of Krishna consciousness. So that is Dukkham. Anything favorable for the development of Krishna consciousness should be accepted, and anything unfavorable should be rejected. Anukulyasya sankalpa patikulyasya varjana. So whatever is favorable for Krishna consciousness, that should be accepted, and whatever is unfavorable, that should be rejected. That will bring us real happiness. Material happiness has a beginning and end, as we have discussed many times, and it always ends with misery. So if we chase after material happiness, it will always give us misery. Rather, we should align ourselves with the happiness of Lord. Then we'll become happy. So participating in the law of various festivals, Ram Navami festival is coming up. Like that, different festivals, We enjoy those festivals, keeping Lord in the center, and that makes us really happy. This is favorable. And similarly, we should avoid a lot of sense enjoyments which are on the mundane platform. We should avoid that because those are not, uh, this mundane consciousness are not favorable for developing Krishna consciousness. It creates hindrance. So, particularly, Varjana means we should get rid of those associations around. And that will help us to progress in spiritual path in a nice way. So, anything favorable for Krishna consciousness should be accepted and unfavorable should be rejected. That way, you can be really happy. Otherwise, our happiness is kind of concocted. We may think we are happy, but actually, in the long term, we'll become unhappy very soon. Let's say it is a mode of passion happiness, then it will end with start with pleasure and end with misery. So when it is giving pleasure in the beginning and we are not experienced, then we will not understand that it will give misery in the end. We'll keep on pursuing and later on we'll find that, oh, I'm in a very distressful situation, painful situation. So we should follow the scripture, whatever is the guidance. Accordingly, we should progress and accept or reject things based on the knowledge given in the scripture, which is also spoken by Guru and Sadhu. So uh, Guru Sadhu, Shastra Vekta Tineta Karya. So that we should progress and then we'll not go wrong. So with that, I'm going to pause over here for today. So I'd like to see if there's any question from today's discussion. We'll discuss. Yes, Mataji, do you have any question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. No, I
Yeah,
don't have
correct.
any question, but it was a very nice explanation. And so many points Krishna is saying. So
Hmm.
this, yes, it's nice to know the different aspects of life and how to deal with those. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji, for hearing this attentively. And we are very grateful to Srila Prabhupada. He has given us the Bhakti Vedanta purport because these knowledge can be explained in a different way. One may go in the Gyan Marg and explain in a certain way, but Prabhupada has explained this in the Bhakti Marg, and he has given us devotional purport. That's why they're called Bhakti Vedanta purport. These are the real purports, and this is as taken by Arjuna. That's why it is as it is. Bhagavad Gita. So that is all coming from Srila Prabhupada, and he had got from previous acharyas. So all glories to our disciplic succession. Due to their mercy, we are able to read and understand something, speak about something. So we are grateful to them.
Yes, Prabhuji. Just wanted to ask one thing. Uh, that in the last you said about unfavorable situations we should avoid. So sometimes we have to do certain things in life, like for job or something, for anything, we have to interact with people who may not be very favorable for our Krishna consciousness. We know that we cannot, but we are not able to insulate, like we are not able to give them anything. At the same time, we are not able to receive anything from them and they are unfavorable. So how to tackle those situations?
So as we discussed earlier, in such situation, we should try to insulate ourselves and not isolate. For example, if we talk about office environment, and then there will be some other environments. For example, if we talk about office, that is a kind of mandatory. But if we talk about friend circle or so, there we can be a little bit discriminative because there we have luxury. And in case of office environment, obviously, if it is extreme, that one may think about, okay, I'll switch from this job to that job. But mostly it is like how we deal with the situation. So, first of all, we don't talk about our sadhana and devotional aspects to others because they may then situation may get aggravated. Uh, if they find some fault within us, they will add this thing also, and then it will be corrected further. We don't disclose about our sadhana and all to unfavorable person, and to that kind of unfavorable person, we don't uh, disclose our heart. Disclosing our heart is like taking association of that person. So it is more of like transactional relationship. Just like we go to a shop, we give money and get the things, and then we move on to another shop or something like that. It's not like we are there to develop relationship out there. There are some exceptions, that's different, but we usually don't develop relationship. It's a transactional. So similarly, uh, there we don't give too many details, and we don't want to go in depth of things in front of them. That makes it easier for us to deal with. Another thing is that we give respect. We give respect to everybody. So many people who are unfavorable, when they get respect, uh, they become, it's not like they become favorable, but they become easier to deal with. We may talk something else. You may not talk about devotional service. You may talk about your office work. You may talk about some other aspects. But when they see that you are respecting, then it becomes easier for you to handle them. And then another thing is obviously you can pray to Krishna for them, for their welfare. You pray to Krishna. So many times they change. Sometimes based on situation, we may share prasadam and all without disclosing too much. So by taking prasadam, sometimes their heart will get changed. So these are the different things we can do. If you go details of that based on the person, the nature and relationship with that person, something more can be spoken about. But these are very generic things you can do uh, to maintain reasonable relationship or in official term without hampering our devotional service and without hampering our professional life or other contextual relationships. Does that answer your question, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Now the point is clear.
Thank you, Mataji. Any other question?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the class and actively participating in that. There are few questions and all. I'm very grateful to you. And I hope others will also, take the benefit from this session. I'll be very grateful if they hear, get a chance to hear and get some benefit out of it. And also, if somebody who are going to hear online later on, and if they would like to join live, they can just send message in the Facebook or the YouTube or the messenger. They can just send message. Then we can contact with them, and then they can be also part of the session. So I thought of saying this before, so just now I'm remembering. So maybe I'll reiterate that later on the other classes also. So thank you again for being part of this discussion. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Prabhuji, for taking this wonderful class and giving the nice explanations. It becomes more clear when we hear from like you and hearing. It becomes more clear the points that are described in the person. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji, for your kind words. It's all glories to the discipline session and the wisdom and blessings they have given. Uh, Thank you. Thank you for joining the class. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.